What up, what up, what up, world? It's your boy Jaystar, man. It's been a busy week, y'all. Been on set for a few Super Bowl commercials, man. It's crazy. Them Super Bowl commercials this year are gonna be pretty cool, man. Like, pretty cool. Some funny ones, man, coming, y'all. Can't really talk much about it, but it's been fun being on them and stuff like that. Um, but let's get to this slate, man. We got this Saturday slate here, y'all. I'm gonna try to get moving through this really quick. So the first game here, we got Houston, Tennessee. Just gonna go over all the best plays and things like that. We got Henry definitely in the greatest spot. Number one in fantasy points given up to running back with Houston. On the other side here, there is fantasy points, I would say, to Houston's receivers, since Tennessee is giving up a lot of fantasy points to receivers. We do have Brandon Cooks looks like he's probably going to be available. Chris Moore, I don't know what's going to happen with him. Depending on which receiver is able to go, basically they're going to be in for a great spot. Also, I would say if not neither one of them, you got tight end, but Okongwu does have a different quarterback, so I don't know what kind of production we're going to see with the rookie quarterback. But Atkins is in a good spot for the other side there, really good spot there. So definitely those are probably the best plays. Besides that, don't really see much. So we're gonna keep it moving. We got Atlanta versus Baltimore here. There is no Lamar Jackson, so I will say though, Mark Andrews, 5,500 yards, the cheapest he's been all season. So as you see, started off the year with 6,800, been all the way up to 7,400. Came all the way down to 5,500. Very cheap price for him. For tight end, still, I know he hasn't been, producing nothing amazingly for the last, what would we say, even 5 weeks basically, or even more than that, probably 7, 8 weeks. But he still is getting the volume, like it's still there. For 5,500, I don't mind taking a shot at him. He could really go off this weekend against Atlanta. We've seen the slot area receivers do really good against them, and he's basically their slot receiver since they don't run three receiver sets anyways. They don't have a slot receiver, so pretty good spot for him. Besides that, I don't really see any thing on the other side I really want to take shots at. I know Demarcus Robinson has gotten some volume here, and with Duvernay being out, possibly there is something in play there because Atlanta does give up fantasy points to receivers. But like I said, they give up a lot of fantasy points to tight end. So this is a great spot for Mark Andrews. Also a really good spot for Dobbins for 5,800. This is a run team. We've seen running backs do well against Atlanta. So definitely I would say in a good spot there. Against the Ravens, we do know they give up fantasy points to wide receivers. So I definitely feel like with the volume that London has gotten for the last 2 weeks, he's in for a big game. 11, 12 targets. He can go off with that. So definitely the best thing I could see on the other side. That's about it though. We got Detroit and Carolina here. Looks like we got Detroit, of course, there's fantasy points at quarterback. If you want to take a shot at 5,000 for Sam Darnold or 5,100, go ahead and take a shot there. Receiver, though, is where they do give up some fantasy points. So definitely DJ Moore is in play. They don't really have a tight end, so I can't really give you a tight end. Running back, is decent too, but they don't really have much of a running back game over there too as well, so I don't really know what's going to happen with that. On the other side, though, I do got to say, though, at running back, Swift is in play because Carolina does give up points to pass catching backs. They give up touchdowns to pass catching backs. So Swift will be definitely the running back. I feel like I know for 5,200 though you can take Jamal Williams if you don't want to take Swift, because we've seen running backs have decent fantasy points against Carolina. But I do think it's going to be Swift, being that they're on the road. I feel like they'll kind of pass a little more. At receiver, I want to say Panthers are pretty decent, but possibly, if anybody was to do very, very good, I think it is St. Brown. I'm still waiting for the Jameson Williams, to get going, get more, I want to say snap counts and stuff out there. So if he does get out there a little more, 3,700, I don't mind taking a shot there too as well. But that's really about it for that game. So let's keep it moving. We got Buffalo and Chicago here. Man, Chicago, every time, especially when they're at home, I'm definitely looking at playing somebody from the other side because they give, especially when they play good teams. So because they give everybody a run for their money and make you have to put up points against them. So I can definitely see Josh Allen having a huge game, 8,500 going off. Diz having a good game too as well, because he's been complaining for the last 2 weeks, wanting more targets and wanting, to produce. So I definitely feel like this could be a huge game for him. We just saw last week, who was that last week against Chicago? that did hurts, and then we saw AJ Brown kill it. So definitely could be in for the same type of production between Josh Allen and Diggs. Besides that, I don't really see much. I might take a shot at McKenzie, but that's really it. From this game, I don't really want nothing on the field side. Doesn't really produce with throwing the ball, which that's where it's at. You want to attack Buffalo with, and they don't really throw enough. So we have to go on to the next game here. We got New Orleans and Cleveland. Um, let's see. So the Saints have a lot of injuries to receivers, so we got a lot of value here. I would say, like, if you want to take some shots here at, we got Callaway, Traquan Smith, Shaheed. My favorite two would probably be Shaheed, then Callaway before I even went to Traquan Smith. So that I think Shaheed is in for probably a decent game. They take deep shots, to him. He scores and stuff like that too. Cleveland we've seen them give that up too, and I think Callaway would probably be the one matched up with Denzel Ward. So he'll have the harder matchup. Shaheed will probably have the easier matchup. If I had to run back anything, be Peoples Jones. It does suck because I did have Kamara last week. He didn't come through, but two things happened in that game. The first touchdown, they had to review it. It was on the 1 yard line short. He was probably gonna get that goal line rush in touchdown to start the game. That didn't go my way because they reviewed it and saw that Juwan Johnson did make that touchdown. Then late in the game, he almost broke for like a big 60-yard run, but somebody tripped his legs. The hole was there. He could have been gone, but he got tripped up, so missed out on having a 20-something or 30-something point fantasy point game. But we do know that's in play against the Browns because they have given up to running back. So something like that could possibly happen for Kamara in this game instead. He is in play. Besides that, I don't really see much I want in this game. So we're going to keep it moving here. We got Seattle and Kansas City, one of the best games on the slate here. I would definitely have to say McKinnon is going to be in play. Because Seahawks have given up crazy fantasy points to running backs. At receiver is very low though, so I don't really see much. I would go with Juju's probably still the best play, but the best play period is Kelsey. That's why he's priced so high, because the Seahawks is like number 2 in fantasy points after the Cardinals. So definitely Kelsey's probably in for a 25 to 30 something fantasy point game, which every time he's in play like that for that type of game or does produce some type of game like that, that means Pat Mahomes is going to be in play. So if you want to try to get a Pat Mahomes, with a McKinnon maybe stack, or just Pat Mahomes and Kelsey stack, there is a lot of value though this weekend, with, like I said, the Saints having so many receivers, as well as think we're going to get to some few more here coming up. So yeah, but besides that, on the other side, definitely Geno, great spot. Quarterback rating, completion rating, yards, passing touchdowns, all that is very, it just goes in his way. Like everything is high that way. And for Seattle, their passing game is like top 10 in like everything from quarterback rating, completion, and all that, in yards and throwing touchdowns. So definitely in for a huge game there. Metcalf is going to be in play if Goodwin is able to go. I can see him having a good game too. We are going to have to pay attention to if Fan is able to go, because since he's questionable, he's in a good spot. If he's able to go, plug him in. If he's not able to go, Disley could be a great value play. So going to have to pay attention to that, because I don't feel that some people will be on Fant as much if he didn't have the questionable and ends up being activated. People probably won't have him as much, and he's in a great spot. Really good game there. So then we keep it moving. We got the Giants here. I would say who's big in play here is Dalvin Cook is definitely going to be in play, because the Giants have given up rushing, a lot of points to running backs. And Barkley is, always going to be in play just because of the volume and things like that. But at wide receiver, the Giants receivers, man, this is going to be another one that I'm saying where it's good value. So Slate, of course, if you want to take a shot there, I don't really think he's the best play. Hodgins and Richie James Jr., because Minnesota gives up yards. They're very stingy with giving up touchdowns, though. So, but the yards is there. So, these two receivers are getting, 5 to 9 targets right here. You're looking at 4 to 6 targets right there. So definitely with the yards and their value of the pricing and everything like that, like if you're trying to get a Pat Mahomes stack, trying to get Kelsey in your lineups and stuff like that, these receivers could hit for you, as well as from the other game, like I just said, There's just a lot of value receivers, man. If you want to pay up, get into the pay up options that you're probably going to need to have to win this slate, anyways. So definitely those are good plays. Of course, Jefferson is always going to be in play, but it is a tougher matchup for him. We'll mention that both tight ends on both in this game are definitely in play. It's about 12 point fantasy. Both of these teams are giving up. So you want to roll with Hawkinson. If you want to even take shots at Bellinger, go ahead. Let's see. So the next game we got is Cincinnati and New England. I'm gonna say this again, like I always say, New England hasn't really played any really good talent this year. When they do play good talent, the talent does show up and do well. So definitely, if Burrow is hitting on every cylinder, man, he's gonna kill them probably because Chase, having Higgins, having Boyd, he just shows you that he can throw to all of them for a touchdown in a game. So Burrow's definitely still gonna be in play. Even if it starts off rocky and tough for him, like he just has elite receiving options. I don't really feel like who is the plan for Belichick to try to stop in this game? Like I don't really know. I know maybe he's probably gonna think to try to get pressure to Burrow since they do sack. He does get sacked, but it doesn't really matter. He still produces. He's just like Pat Mahomes with even better weapons to me. So definitely have to say that. It looks like his tight end is going to be out. So if you want to take a shot at the Wilcox, you can take a shot there since New England does give up points, fantasy points to tight end. For the other side there, I don't really want much because Myers, I don't know. Let's see. Is he even? He's questionable. If he was healthy, he probably would be the best play back. But besides that, I don't really see much. Mac Jones has been pretty trash this season to me. So last game here, we got Washington and San Francisco. We do know San Francisco gives up yards to receivers. They're very stingy with giving up touchdowns, though. So another value spot here would be Dotson coming off of a 100-yard game. Even a game before 54 yards, and a touchdown. Possibly has probably the easier matchup on the field. Besides, if you want to take a shot at McLaurin, because we know the volume has been there for him. And yards have been pretty well too. Like I said, they give up yards. So possible 100 yards is in play. But I would probably rather take the cheaper option there in Dotson. Seems like he's probably catching on to a rhythm with Heineke before they end up maybe changing from Heineke to back to Wentz. So Dawson could be in play, and as well as you want to take a shot at McLaurin. Washington kind of gives up in the slot area, and it sucks that Debo is out because he kind of owns the slot receiver. They don't really have another receiver that just kind of owns that area since they are kind of a two wide receiver set team, sent to because they like to run a lot. So the best receiving option when it comes to slot is actually McCaffrey. So he kind of plays slot as well as I would say run too as well. So both of those points are in play for him. So he's probably in for the best game if anything there. Besides that, I don't think there's really much else that I would want to have in this game. And also with Chase coming back, so Brock Purdy could be in a lot of pressure situations there and having to dump it off to McCaffrey a lot of the times. And maybe dump it off to somewhat of Kittle, even though they're a pretty good team against tight ends here. So then we got the last game on the slate, man. This could be a pretty high scoring game is what I think because Dallas is banged up. Cornerbacks all outside of from the slot to the out. What I want to say, the right side cornerback that plays on the other side of Diggs is all out. They're on to their third to fourth string cornerbacks now. So you're looking for a good game for Minshew. I don't see him having a problem throwing the ball when he has completely a healthy offense. Not even, Hurts, who's been balling, hasn't even had Goddard for the last 5 weeks, and he's been putting up 30 to plus fantasy points. So you're telling me Minshew gets Dallas Goddard back, with having A.J. Brown coming off of one of his best games and Devontae Smith as well coming off one of his best games. He has all those weapons out there as well as they are still a run team. So they still going to try to run the ball with Sanders. He's a good running back too. I don't really see I just see them getting, Dallas getting scored on, which that just means they're going to have to shoot out to even try to beat Philly in this game. Even though I know these are tough, teams, like they play each other pretty tough and everything, but I just feel like this will be the game where maybe some people do think it's going to be tough like that and miss out on that. It's just going to probably be a shootout. I see them, both of these teams putting up near 30, points in this game. So Minshew is definitely going to be in play. Dak could possibly be in play. He's been playing pretty decent when it comes to throwing the ball. Lately and things like that. Three touchdowns right here too as well. Like it's all there. So he has been throwing picks though. like every game. So definitely, I feel like Eagles defense is gonna be one of the best defense. I feel like they're gonna come in there and try to punch them in the mouth because Dallas might sleep on them because they have Minshew at quarterback and think it's gonna be that he's not gonna play that good. But Minshew is a decent quarterback, so definitely feel like he's in play. I like I said, AJ Brown. Because if he doesn't have to line up with Diggs, also Diggs is ill. He has an illness, so I don't know if he's going to play. If they go out there with just nothing but second or third or fourth string cornerbacks, they're going to get lit up. It's going to be fly, Eagles, fly for sure. So definitely, I think it's some fantasy points there to have. You might want to definitely have somebody from this game for sure, since this is the last game of the slate. On the other side there, CeeDee Lamb probably has the best matchup. He doesn't have to match up with Slate or Bradbury. So he would probably be one of the best run backs. If not, Noah Brown has been playing really good lately. So you could take a shot there because I'm pretty sure Gallup probably will have the harder matchup for 3,600. I don't mind taking a shot there for Noah Brown if you're trying to run that back. As well as, like I said, the running backs are both in play here, but I think it probably bodes well for Zeke. He's tend to do well against Philly all his career. So $6,000, I don't mind taking a shot there. It could be a contrarian option of coming off of maybe Sanders or even McKinnon. I don't know if people are really gonna be on Sanders like that. Maybe possibly they will be though. But Zeke is probably a good option, saving $1,000 from taking Pollard. Like I said, he tends to do well. He did pretty decent the last time too. They played each other with 15.6 fantasy points, almost 100 yards. So almost got you the 100-yard bonus. And I think that's possibly in play again, being that he is the home back. So let's get into just real quick. How would we tack making this lineup real quick? I think I'm going to go with the most easiest play here. I feel like with Geno stacking with Metcalf, probably the most chalkiest stack, period. But we're going to try to get different somewhere else. But let's get into this. So we got Henry, another chalky option. Let's see. Do we want to take Zeke or McKinnon? Like I said, I can probably see how this lineup goes later. So we got 4 chalky options, I think, right here. Let's get into tight end. I think I'm going to go with a very, very value play here with Atkins. It's very iffy there, though. Can't really expect him to for sure do much, but at least it's a run back against Henry there. Already have the run back stack with Kansas City and Seattle. Okay, so now we got 4 plays here. I know this is going to be very chalky here to go with the Eagles defense. So we got to try to get different now. Let's see what we're going to do here because we very, very chalky lineup here for a tournament. I want to get maybe Richie James or Dotson. They both in play for yards. Like, not really a touchdown, but both in play with yards. Man, it's so hard because both of these quarterbacks aren't really the most amazing quarterbacks. But I like the way Dotson has been playing. I think I'm going to go with Dotson. I'm going to go with Dotson. So that way I have kind of something late that most people I don't think are going to take much from that game. So could be very contrarian there. And let's see where else could we go. We definitely probably want A.J. Brown. So we got A.J. Brown. We got 5,500. Okay, this is great. We could do double tight end. We can roll with Swift, Moore. I love this. All 3 of these plays are in good spots. So I would take this, every time with all those plays, man. This is a good lineup, y'all. So we can just toss in Mark Andrews because I don't believe a lot of people going to do double tight end anyways. Good lineup there, man. I feel like this could win it, y'all. Y'all want to plug it in and win some money with me? Go ahead and do it. Good luck, y'all, man. Like I told y'all, Super Bowl commercials, man, are looking really good, man. I've been on set for a few of them. It's been fun, man. But it's your boy Jaystar. Thank y'all all for the likes, comments, subscribers, man. I really appreciate all y'all for watching this long. I'm out. Good luck.